for the longest time, I just couldn't figure it out. I'm like, what does that mean to just be? In my mind, I'm thinking, do I just sit and do nothing all day? Is that being?
So find a way to
Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome back to the Lightworker community. My name is Monica, and in today's video, we're going to talk about how to go from trying to being. So I know this title may sound a little weird, especially if you haven't heard people say the term just be. This is something I've heard a lot since I had my spiritual awakening a few years ago. I've heard it from friends, I've heard it from spiritual teachers, law of attraction coaches, and I feel like I've been hearing it a lot more recently. And it's been one of those things that just never really clicked for me until today. Like literally, as I was getting ready and I was about to come and film this video, it just finally made sense to me after all these years. So lately, for about the last 2 weeks, I have been so consistent on my goals. Like, I have been getting them done almost every single day and checking them off my list. And I've just been trying to think, what has made me so motivated and so successful in completing these goals now? These are goals that I have been trying to do for what feels like forever. And all of a sudden, I'm doing them. I'm just doing it. And I'll give you one example, which is running. I started thinking about this a couple of days ago as I was making my bed because I have this kind of routine I've put into place, and I like to straighten out before I go for a run. And I was thinking as I was making the bed that I'm not trying to run. I'm not trying to be a runner. I am a runner. I'm just being in the energy of a runner. So a lot of times we say that we're going to try to do something. We'll tell other people, oh, well, I'm going to try to work out today. I'm going to try to go for a run today. And I know everybody has different schedules and we all have different responsibilities. But what has been working for me for the last 2 weeks is just focusing on that particular day. I know so many times we try to live in the future of, I have to do this every day for X amount of time, or like I have to be on this diet and eat exactly this diet plan for 2 weeks or a month or however long it is. And when we start to think of that full picture, it gets very overwhelming, especially when we're trying to make more of a permanent change and to be more consistent with our goals. It is just completely like, oh my gosh, how do I go from 0 to 100? And we want to be able to do it overnight. What I've been doing is I have a checklist on my phone, I have an app, and I like to put my to-do list for the next day. I'll clear everything from the day of, and then I'll make sure I have everything for the next day. And running has been an item on that checklist. When I wake up in the morning, I like to look at my to-do list, or a lot of times now I just memorize it, and I visualize myself completing those tasks. And I just focus on those goals for today. So for instance, I'll say or think to myself, today, I am a runner. I don't know 100% for sure if I'm going to be a runner tomorrow, or a week from now, or a month or a year from now. But right now, today, I am a runner. And I used to put so many restrictions on myself and so many limiting beliefs when it came to what it meant to be a runner. Especially because I have friends and family over the years who are pro runners. I have a sister-in-law who runs races every week. She runs every single day. She does marathons and half marathons, and so for me, that's kind of how I defined what a runner was. I told myself that I can't consider myself a runner. I can't be a runner until I've ran this many miles and I can run a mile under this amount of time, and I ran a marathon, and I do it every single day, or I'm waiting for permission from someone else. Like I need other people to tell me, oh yeah, you're a runner. Yeah, you're a runner. So instead I had to look at those limiting beliefs and say, you know what? That is not going to be my definition of running anymore. It's going to be whatever I want it to be, whatever works for me. And since I primarily don't run and it is more challenging for me, I downloaded an app called Couch to 5K or something like that. And it breaks down your running every day between walking and running. So I might run for like a minute and a half, and then I might walk for a couple of minutes, and then every day it increases a little bit so that you have more endurance to keep running longer until you can run a 5K all the way. Another thing is I stopped beating myself up if I missed a day. For whatever reason, if I just didn't make time, I don't go, oh no, I'm a failure. I can't call myself a runner. I'm a fraud. You know, all of these guilty feelings we feel if we miss one day. And I just think to myself, that's just today. You know, I'm just living in the present now. And I think tomorrow can be a whole different story. And I stopped saying to myself, oh, tomorrow I'm going to start over. Because if you miss a day here or there and you keep telling yourself, I'm going to start over the next day, it starts to feel like we're diminishing the progress that we've made to the point that we feel like we haven't made any progress. And then it's just like this uphill battle that we're never going to win. So then we just give up completely. I'm going to give another example, and that is how I feel about me being a YouTuber or a teacher. For the longest time, I struggled with believing I was a teacher because the word teacher had all of these limiting beliefs on it as well. I thought in order to consider myself a teacher, I would have to have gone to a certain school, I would have had to get a certain degree, I would have had to have this much experience and have all these credentials, and I'd have to teach something like math or history or science, something that's accredited by a college. Then, when I looked at that belief, I realized that every single person is a teacher and a student in this universe. We don't have to get permission from other people to tell us that we can be a teacher. If you want to work in a school or college, yes, there are some limitations there where you'll most likely have to go to a school yourself and get a degree, but it's not the end all to be all. You can still be a teacher in different capacities. Everyone teaches someone something. It doesn't have to be in a classroom. It doesn't have to be here on YouTube. You teach people with leading by example. You teach people whenever you share your experiences, your perspectives, your research, what you've learned to other people, to your friends and to your family, to your colleagues. You're a teacher. You teach other people teach you. So when I realized that, I felt more comfortable saying, you know what, I'm a teacher. And also with being a YouTuber, I felt uncomfortable saying I'm a YouTuber because for me that limiting belief was, well, in order to be a YouTuber, in my mind, I guess I have to have like at least 100,000 subscribers and I have to be making money. And then when I started making money, then it was like, oh, well, I'm not making enough money to say that I'm a YouTuber. Maybe I need to wait till I make like $5,000 or $10,000 a month before I can start telling people, or yet more importantly, I can start telling myself that I'm a YouTuber. So you see how that line just keeps getting further and further? And that line is defined by our own limiting beliefs. So I started to stop saying I'm going to try to become a teacher or I'm going to try to be a YouTuber. And right now I'm just being it. I'm not trying. I'm recording this video and I'm just being. And I've been way more consistent with it because I didn't have that anxiety, that pressure of, well, I don't know, I'm not really teacher material, or I'm not really a professional YouTuber. So I'm afraid to try, and I would procrastinate. And a lot of times we look to the past, our own personal history, and we think, okay, well, I haven't ran all this time, so I can't call myself a runner. But if you run that day, you're a runner. So it's about being in that energy of what you want that day, that moment. That is the only moment that counts. Because if you think of yourself, oh, if I run 100 times in the future, then I'll be considered a runner. But you know where you are when you're running in the future? You're in the present. Do you know when you look back and you go, oh, well, I've already been running for 100 days, so I can consider myself a runner. And you look back in the past, where are you in the past when you're doing it? You're in the present. You see what I'm saying? The present is the only moment that counts. That's all there is right now. There is no past. It's all in our mind. There is no future. It's all in our mind. It's just right now. And what you'll start to realize is that you are the programmer of your life. You are the program and you are the programmer. It's kind of like The Matrix, the first movie, when Neo gets hooked up and he starts doing kung fu. And then he's like, I know kung fu. He could say, I'm a mixed martial artist now. We have the power and the ability to program ourselves into what we want to be. So if one day you decide you want to start being a runner, run that day. For however long you need to. If you need to take breaks, if you need to walk in between, just do it. Be it. And what you'll come to realize is that the more you do it, the more it gets instilled in you. It just becomes this automatic, subconscious thing that you don't have to think about. You don't have to try. You're just being in it. You're being in the flow of it. You're being in that energy. You are it. The more you do it consistently, the easier it's going to get. Just like with anything, practice. And not only does it become easier physically, it also becomes easier mentally. A lot of times when you want to go to the gym, the hardest part is just getting there. It's putting on your gym clothes, getting in the car, driving to the gym. That's the hardest part. You get there, and then you get back into that flow of, I'm a person who works out at the gym. So we can create our own beliefs. Limiting beliefs can come from outside influence. We let other people tell us what we can and can't do, who we can and can't be. We let other people and outside society define and influence whatever it is that we're trying to do. And another piece of advice I want to give is I would recommend not telling people what you're doing, because it's so easy to get into this rhythm of telling people, oh, I'm going to try to make a video tomorrow, or I might make a video tomorrow. And not everyone is supportive of what you want to do. And maybe they're not trying to come off as unsupportive, but they do. And they're just like, oh, yeah, okay. You've said that before. How many times have you said that? And you haven't done it. So one thing I love that Ralph Smart from Infinite Water says, he says, don't tell people what you're going to do. Show them. So I don't tell my husband anymore. I'm not like, oh, I'm going to try to go for a run. I get up, I do my thing, I get ready, and I go. And afterwards I tell him, oh, I just went for a run. I don't need permission from anyone else. I don't need approval from anyone else to be who I want to be. Ask yourself what you want to be. And then don't try to be that. Just be that. Then of course you might go, well, Monica, I want to be a millionaire. How do I just be a millionaire? Well, I will tell you that once I do it. But for now, I believe that when you get into the power of being whatever it is you want to do that day, something that you do have within reach, that you do have access to and you can do, I would say once you start doing that, you get into the flow of it, and then you start to conquer something else. I would say don't do too many things at once. Don't put like 5 goals down and be like, I have to do all of these every day. Just stick with one thing, maybe 2 things if you have a lot of free time, or it's something that you just really want to do. And once you start being in that flow and energy of what it is you want to be, the type of person you want to be, then you're going to build your confidence, for one. You're going to build your confidence in yourself. You're going to really start believing in yourself. You're going to see that reflected in your external reality because you've changed it from the internal reality first. And then on top of that, you're going to be raising your vibration so high because you're going to be feeling so good that you're accomplishing these things that you really wanted to accomplish for so long. And hopefully they're things that also just make you feel wonderful, or things that you were really passionate about. And when you start getting it into the consistency of being present and just being in general, I believe that if you want to be a millionaire and you've written it down, you've made it clear, it will come to you because you're starting to align with who you truly are. And again, raising your vibration is key. You're matching the vibration of what it is that you want. Even if you don't physically have it now, you're getting into that mentality. You're learning how to be. And I believe that is a super critical element in the law of attraction. All right, that is my video for today. I hope that makes sense. I believe it will make sense for those who need this message and see it and who it resonates with. And sometimes I notice that I will hear certain things that I think I understand, doesn't totally make sense yet, but eventually, sometime down the line, I start to understand and know exactly what that person was talking about back then, and it'll come back to me and I'll go, oh, okay. So sometimes it's just planting the seeds of hearing those things consistently over and over, or even just a few times or once, and then later on you're like, okay, I get it now. It actually becomes helpful in that moment in time. So until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.